Welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's video, I am just doing an update slash kind of updated review of these two KNIPEX tools. I've done a few videos of these in the past, and I do like to keep you guys updated on these two in particular because I do use these a lot, and I kind of want to show you how they're holding up. So, starting off with probably the most common of the two, we have the KNIPEX, and I say KNIPEX because that's how they say to say it. You go to the KNIPEX website, they sell a t-shirt with the pronunciation on the t-shirt, and it is KNIPEX. So those of you that say KNIPEX, you can keep saying it, but I'm going to say KNIPEX. These are the KNIPEX 5-inch water pump cobra pliers, and these are phenomenal. These things have a wide range of adjustments here. It does not slide up like the small pliers do. You have to push the button to slide it back up. But with some practice, you can kind of do this one-handed. And they fit in your pocket very nicely. These are sturdy little pliers that I have put some stress on and have not even really bent the tools, much less broke them. My dad bought me this pair about 18 months ago. And I carried it in my pocket for like the first 6 months, and the last year it has been riding in a large Leatherman nylon pouch on my belt beside this one. I put the two back-to-back buttons away from each other, tipped down in the pouch, and it holds them quite nicely. I have used this for 18 months, as I just said before. The rubber has held up well. I use these on the car a lot. Got a car that breaks down a fair bunch, you're always working on something. These pliers are always getting in there, grabbing stuff and getting stuff done. I love these pliers. And for about less than 40 bucks, I recommend getting one. These things hold up nicely. They do have some rust, as you can tell. You know, they are not the shiny pliers out of the box that they used to be. But the spring is held up. There has been no issues with the spring or losing any parts here. I have not had to replace anything on this tool in the 18 months that I have had it. It is fantastic. Now, for about the past 8 months, I have had, in tandem with this, the pliers wrench. Why they call it the pliers wrench? Well, that's because you have the plier handle here that performs much the same leverage as that plier here. But whereas this is a kind of 1-to-1 ratio here, is how much this moves is how much that moves. The only way you get more leverage is by lengthening the handle. This, you do not need a longer handle. This has like a 10-to-1 ratio because the handle moves a lot farther than the jaws. The jaws form a very much open-end crescent wrench style thing, hence the name plier wrench. And this thing has been a tank of a tool as well, and a joy to use. If I had to knock out one and carry just one, I think I would go pliers, or the cobra pliers, because they have the teeth that can grab more stuff. But it's a close second. Like this one, being able to just bear down on something tight with that amplified leverage, even though these are the 5-inch long version from tip to tip. You got the length and power of a full-size pair of pliers. And then being able to bear down on something as you are turning on it, having that extra pressure there, it just locks these tools onto their product. And I have not even bent the tool at all. Now, I have been asked by KNIPEX on my Instagram, JSPR_ETC, why did I take the rubber off of these pliers in particular? And the reason for that being is the rubber that they dip these in is super smooth, super shiny. And as someone who works on a car a lot and your hands get oily, it's not all that easy to hold on to these. I would much rather they have done this sort of rubber dip. If they had done this on these, I'd have left the rubber on. Would have loved it. But that smooth, shiny KNIPEX rubber just gets in the way, and I did not like it. And so I stripped the rubber off. It doesn't slide off. It's kind of dipped in there, and so it gets into every little crack on here. So I took a knife, cut off a lot, and then just took a wire brush and just scraped off what I could. And you've got this grippier metal underneath. But I also added a little bit of heat shrink tubing just to get a little bit extra grip on it. And it's been a delight to carry with that modification. It's been wonderful. I do hope KNIPEX sees this, and I do hope they change the dipping rubber from that smooth, shiny stuff to this granulated orange peel texture of the cobra pliers. And then it would just match so much better to have that, and just aesthetically improve the tool that way. But we have like a 1/4 inch opening here at the lowest setting. Highest setting, you get like just over an inch or something here. Let's dig out this little guy. 1 inch opening. 1 inch open all the way, and that's really all you need. Get any bigger than that, you're going to need a full-size pair of pliers if that sucker's rusted on. But for like the normal car mechanic stuff where you're just doing battery cables and things, this is the tool to go with. This thing is fantastic. Having had it for over 6 months, I think I'm clocking in close to 8 months on this. It has held up delightfully well. I have not had to replace any of the spring screws or parts. You can buy those just as the little replacement parts. KNIPEX does sell those, and I do recommend keeping a few because you never know when you lose some parts. But yeah, I have wailed down on this, barely bent the tool at all. I think there's one tiny little ding in there where I was cramping down on something like super hard and crimped down harder than I probably should have. But that little sucker was super glued in there too. But that's not KNIPEX's fault. That was the people that made the tool's fault. I love these two tools. These things have been phenomenal. And for like under $70, probably under $60, especially around Black Fridays probably, you can get these two. And I recommend the 5-inch pairs because they are just big enough to fit, to reach in and do stuff, but they're just small enough to fit in your pockets as well. And I carried this in the back pocket of my jeans for a long time, and I had it tip up like that, and I never lost it out of my back pockets. It just kind of like grips inside your pocket and does not fall out. Now, if you got loose jeans, like super loose jeans, super baggy, super loose, then it may not stick too well. But I've got like the average fitting jeans that are not skinny jeans, just a normal pair of jeans, and those stayed in there delightfully. But like I said earlier, I carry both of these like this, head down inside a large Leatherman pouch, and they sit there quite well. I recommend getting these tools. If you've been looking into a KNIPEX tool, please consider buying some. They are worth the money. They are a bit pricey, I'll admit, but they are worth the money. And if I had to recommend one over the other, I think I would recommend the cobra pliers. Just a little bit more that they can do, a little bit wider range of motion. It's a toss-up. If you're always working on specific nuts and bolts, get this. This will work on nuts and bolts a lot better than the cobra pliers. But if you're working on grabbing random stuff all the time, like pipes, tubes, branches, whatever, hot pans in a kitchen, I recommend the cobra pliers. Just a little bit wider range of motion on the handle there, just a little bit more utilitarian. But either would be great. I do recommend getting both. And I have gotten the 4-inch pliers, or cobra pliers. I don't know why I keep wanting to say plierswrech. I've gotten the 4-inch cobra pliers, and those suckers are fantastic. My dad took them. My dad has them, and he likes them. He's got them packed away. They're good to go, ready to go. He loves them. So, with that said, thank you for listening to me rant and ramble, and I hope this video was useful and informational. I hope it helps you build your EDC to your standards. And until the next time, farewell, carry well, and a bye-bye.